Hey guys, how y'all doing? So I got a new story for you guys that I'm going to put with the celebrities playlist. But I would say that he's sort of a celebrity, and I'll tell you why in a second. First, let me tell you who he is. 2 weeks ago, Friday night, I gave a ride to Bumpy Johnson's grandson. Now, the first reason I'm saying sort of is because it's his grandson, not actually Bumpy. But the second reason is because I had no idea how many people are clueless about who Bumpy Johnson was. After I gave, his name is Raymond, after I gave Raymond the ride, like the next passenger, I said to him, hey, I just gave Bumpy Johnson's grandson a ride. No clue who Bumpy Johnson is. He was like one of my first rides that night, so I had opportunity to tell plenty of people, hey, I just had Bumpy Johnson's grandson in the car. I'm surprised that many people were clueless about it. And I think this is the reason why we're in the trouble we're in right now, because nobody knows anything about history. Nobody reads. Nobody watches anything of substance. You know what I mean? If you did, you would know who Bumpy Johnson was. So I'm going to tell you who he was. So Bumpy Johnson was the most famous and most feared black gangster during the golden era, let's call it, of the mafia, which is like, 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe 50s. He was a bookmaker technically, but what he really made his money from was lottery basically, but it was called policy by poor black people back then. And that was like a code word for it. But it also was called policy because they saw that as an insurance policy, like, winning, you could have a little money set aside for your kids or whatever. So, yeah, he ran policy, and he went head to head with guys like Lucky Luciano. He went head to head with a psychopath masquerading as a gangster called Arthur Flegenheimer, if you can believe that or not. He was actually Jewish, not Italian, and he used the street name Dutch Schultz, and he was feared. He was feared. So, not surprisingly, Raymond told me that Hollywood embellished his story a little bit, changed it a little bit, took license of it, or however you say it, and they made it look like he was well loved in the black community. Everybody was behind him, and it was him and Madam Queen against the Italian gangsters. That's not all the way true. Bumpy and the Queen had many, many competitors and used to go at it with these other black gangsters until the Italian mafia got involved. The Italian mafia wanted piece of that pie, and they decided, just like how the United States installs a leader in a particular country, they decided that Bumpy was going to be their guy, and they cut off all of his competition. So that enabled him to flourish. But then it got to the point where, particularly Dutch Schultz, who played for sport, decided, hey, I don't even need Bumpy. The Dutchman, as they call him, decided, why even give Bumpy a cut? Shit, I can do that. I can handle that racket, even though it was in a black neighborhood. And because of that, and his grandson told me this, there was a year in which Bumpy survived probably 20 assassination attempts. But he kind of had the last laugh because he died of old age. He was never killed. He did get locked up, though. He did spend time in the world's most famous prison, Alcatraz. So I think they sent him there to set an example. But of course, there'll always be gangsters. So yeah, that's the story. I had Bumpy Johnson's grandson in the car. It was fascinating talking to him. I went and checked the dates and the numbers and the names. And as far as I could tell, he was extremely credible. And even more credible than him was his wife, who met his mother. His mother just died in, was it 2012? He said 2002. I can't remember. A few interesting things about Bumpy. First of all, I'll tell you a piece of trivia. He was called Bumpy because the top of his head, his skull, had a bump in the back, and then it went down like this. Then he had a bump in the front. So that's why he was called Bumpy. Another thing about him that you might not have guessed is he was a good father. He spent a lot of money and time on his kids' legitimate and illegitimate, and left generational wealth for them. Not only did he leave a chunk of money, he left them the knowledge of how to continue making the money. And I guess he must have had some smart women because they kept it going. And it looks like he is tough just like his grandfather, because he has survived 4 strokes. In fact, he was talking to me. He has an eye patch on, and this side of his mouth doesn't move, but he was giving me the whole story. His wife was helping to give me the story. It was like looking through a window back in the time. It's just incredible. There was a movie made back, I want to say in the late 90s or early 2000s, called Hoodlum. And Bumpy Johnson was played by Lawrence Fishburne, one of his best roles he ever played, to me anyway, and the best movie about him. But even recently, Forrest Whitaker, or I think it's Forrest Whitaker's twin brother, played Bumpy Johnson in a gangster movie. I can't tell you the name of it. I never watched it. For my money, though, if you want to see a movie about Bumpy Johnson, watch Hoodlum. It's a great movie. And it's accurate for the most part. So like I was saying, the gentleman's name is Raymond. And when I was doing my research, I saw that Bumpy Johnson's real name is Ellsworth Raymond Johnson. So that's crazy. His grandson was, I guess, named after him. I never asked Mr. Raymond what his last name was, and I don't know if he was a legit child or the child of a side chick, but that was a crazy thing to find out. And everything just kind of links up well. It all makes sense. What a guy he was.